Here's a look at your WNBA triple header. We have a potential title game preview with Liberty at Aces, Vegas laying 6. Then the Fever are 2.5-point favorites over the Mercury, and the Lynx visit Seattle. That game is at 10 p.m. Eastern on CBS Sports Network. We now welcome in Sportsline's WNBA analyst Calvin Wetzel. Calvin, tonight's Aces and Liberty matchup could be a championship preview. The defending champs, the Aces, are favored to go back-to-back at -160. And why not? They have the best record in the league, and their roster is absolutely stacked. I can't even name everybody that is a star on that team. However, the Liberty have also been making some noise. They're sitting at 10-3 overall with 4 consecutive wins heading into tonight. New York is certainly building some good momentum, and it's priced well at +145. Right now, who is a better bet to win the title?
Well, if you had to go straight up, of course, you're looking at the Aces, but I think the Liberty are a better bet because of those odds. You said Aces -160, and you're getting the core plus money with the Liberty. These two teams are a lot closer than that in my mind. Those prices are based on what we've seen so far, but what we've seen so far is because the Aces, other than Candace Parker, who joined them over the offseason, have basically all played together before. It's the rest of the starter lineup is the core from last year. The Liberty had to integrate a bunch more new pieces, Brianna Stewart, Courtney Vandersloot, into this rotation, and they also dealt with some early injuries, which set them back a little bit. Jonquel Jones starting to heal up from that stress fracture. So the Liberty were always going to get out to a little bit of a slower start, just based on those injuries and those new pieces. But looking forward, by the time we get to the championship a couple months from now, I do think that the Liberty will be right there. Will be a lot closer in my mind. I would go with the Liberty as the best bet.
I like those odds.
I do as well. Calvin, let's go ahead and look at the game tonight. Liberty at Aces, that game in Vegas. Vegas favored by 6, the total 175. It's not a Commissioner Cup game. We talked about that. It should be, but it's definitely the marquee game, the game of the year. Two super teams in the WNBA, New York 10-3, Vegas 13-1. They did meet, though, in the preseason. Vegas won that one. What is your play tonight here, Liberty and Aces out in the desert?
Well, I'm actually staying away from the spread here and going with a half total. First half over 88.5. The Aces first half overs are actually 7-0 at home, and the Liberty are 4-2 on these in road games as well, including hitting their last 3. This is the highest full game total in the mid-170s that we've seen all season, and it deserves to be with all the star power on either side. Obviously, the Aces love to run. They're going to spread the floor. But this is going to be more of a playoff atmosphere, I think, because of the magnitude of the game. So if you see a close game down the stretch, you could see whichever team has a slim lead, try to slow it down a little bit, protect that lead. I'm not sure if I want to, mess around with the fourth quarter. So I'm looking at the first half over 88.5.
Smart, Calvin, smart. You got to stay away from the fourth quarter with these big matchups. But let's get things propping here. Okay, what is a player that you have zeroed in on as good value in the prop market in this matchup tonight?
I love Jonquel Jones over 7.5 rebounds in this one. Even if there's some books that have 8.5, I think you can take that. 4 games ago when the Liberty lost to Atlanta, their last loss, Jonquel Jones was really outspoken after that game. She told Miles Ehrlich from Winsider after the game that they got exposed, was her word. They got exposed on the boards. Really, the Dream just punked them on the boards. And she has stepped up to the plate ever since then. She's had 9+ rebounds in all 4 games since then, double figures in 3 of those. And I expect that to continue tonight, especially in, like we said, a game that will be really fast-paced, a lot of possessions. So I love Jonquel Jones' rebound number in this one.
All right, now, Calvin, we were just talking about one of the best matchups we'll see all season long in the WNBA, and then we've got the Fever and the Mercury. Don't want to disparage this game. Indiana, though, favored. They're 2.5 at Phoenix. The total, they're 162.5. You got the worst team in the East, that'd be Indiana, and the worst team out west, Phoenix Mercury with BG, Brittany Griner, and those guys down in Taurasi. What are you targeting tonight out in Phoenix tonight? Once again, we don't want to say anything bad about them, but this matchup, maybe not the best.
Not as exciting.
Well, I got a fun early one for you guys.
Right.
First basket prop. Brittany Griner, first basket, plus 550. You can play this down to plus 300 in my mind because Brittany Griner always wins the tip. She's won the jump ball every game this year. She's like 90% on her career. So it's basically automatic that she's going to win the jump ball. Not surprising at all at 6'9". They're going to start with the ball, and they love to run sets to her early in the game, get her established on the low post. She's already cashed this 4 times this year, including the last matchup against this same Fever team. Also, the Mercury last game just a couple days ago, she scored first as well. So I love these first basket props, and Brittany Griner is one of the best in the league at cashing them.
I like this
I
guy,
like that.
Calvin. I like you a lot. I love a first basket prop. BG plus 550. I'm definitely, because I don't know if you heard in the last segment, I'm trying to go to Montauk this weekend. That is a surefire bet to get me to the Hamptons. We appreciate you. All right, elsewhere, the Storm are laying 2.5 against the Lynx. That game on CBS Sports Network. Minnesota has been profitable on the road as of late, covering in 4 of their last 5 away games. Total 162. How are you playing this one?
I'm going under in this one, which looks crazy when you look at the last matchup. These two teams just played 2 days ago. It hit 197. But when you look further, both of those teams shot in the 40s from 3 in that game. It wasn't even really a fast-paced game. It was actually slower than average by Storm standards, but so many shots went in on both sides that we saw a scoring explosion. It's back-to-back, so like you see in the NBA with those series, sometime when the series get lower scoring as they go on and you get to game 7 and it's really low scoring because teams make those defensive adjustments, the tired legs start to kick in. That happens in the WNBA when you get teams playing back-to-back as well. So these two teams playing back-to-back, we should see a lower scoring game than the first one. Obviously some shooting regression. In this back-to-back in particular, there was a travel day in between. 1 game in Minnesota, 1 game in Seattle. In addition, we have Claire Aubrey reffing this game. She is 7-0 on unders in games that she has reffed this season. So I am backing her to go 8-0 as an official on unders. We're taking the under on this one.
I'm going to write that under.
Analysis right there.
Yes,
wow.
Absolutely. Calvin, thank you so much for bringing the heat with this WNBA triple header.
Absolutely.
You can catch his bets on Sportsline. Thank you for joining us. And just a reminder, you can watch the Lynx and the Storm on CBS Sports Network starting at 10 p.m. Eastern, as well as streaming on Paramount+.